Good morning, Sister Links. Welcome. I'm Sonia Johnson-Williams, Chair of the Assembly Conference and Event Planning Committee. And it's my pleasure to welcome you here today, and thank you for your hospitality. It's just absolutely tremendous to be here. And I'm so excited about the work that we're here to do, which is planning our 41st National Assembly and working very closely with what I hear to be the iconic cluster. So thank you. Good to see you. With that being said, I'd like to first start by calling up Link Ida, who will lead us in the pledge. Link Ida Rose Mice from the Dogwood chapter. Thank you.
Good morning, Link Sisters.
Good morning.
We're glad to see all of you here this morning. Please join me as we say our national pledge.
I do solemnly pledge myself to all the ideals, purposes, and true meaning of the word friendship as embodied in the name Links. I shall earnestly endeavor to uphold these standards and do my share towards serving my community and my chapter to the best of my ability, and this I promise.
Thank you. Link Joy Shelfield will lead us in the Link song.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
You have your singing voices ready? We strive
to do some good each year for those who need our aid. It binds us close and brings us joy, and so we feel repaid. We're each a link in friendship's chain and loyal to our creed of doing good through work and play. Together we'll succeed.
beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Link Nidra Jr. from the Las Vegas, Nevada chapter will provide us with this, or today's, Linkspiration.
Greetings, good morning, Link Sisters. I will share a quote with you. Great minds talk about ideas. Medium minds talk about events. Small minds talk about people. As we gather here together to plan this 41st Assembly, as Link Sisters, let's consciously strive to be great.
Now I'd like to ask Link Journal Burks-Craig. Please come up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm not going to say that I am excited. I'm going to say we are excited.
Yes.
And when I talk about we, I talk about the 5 chapters located in Indiana. Northern Indiana. Deborah, would you like to stand, the president of the Northern Indiana chapter? Fort Wayne. The Fort Wayne chapter. Will someone stand? I know the president is not here yet. Stand to represent Fort Wayne. And I know the president from South Bend is not here, but she has sent her vice. Deborah Wilson is not here for Circle City. They have their major fundraiser today, but she has sent her backup. So Circle City, someone from Circle City, please stay. We have been a part of Linkdom for 66 years. The Indianapolis chapter being first chartered in 1951. With the 5 chapters in Indiana, we have served Linkdom for 205 years. So we have now been charged with this awesome responsibility to host the 41st National Assembly. It just brings goosebumps in my body to think that we are going to represent 283 chapters across the United States. I am thrilled and honored to be asked to lead this awesome effort. And I really want you to know that I feel comfortable in the role because I know we have the support of all of these 5 chapters, that they're going to do their part in making sure you all experience Hoosier hospitality. I cannot do it without my dear friend, our co-chair, Dr. Virginia Kane. Thank you. I have spent the last day with some incredible links, led by an incredible woman. The more I see her, the more I admire her. Let us give a round of applause to our 16th National President, Dr. Glenda. I also want to let you know I have a new best friend who's a Delta. I made her happy yesterday because I wore red. But she is our newly appointed executive director, Link Madeline Lawson. So let me just also tell you what we started with yesterday. Link Myra is in the room. Link Myra stand. Link Myra hosted, along with Lacey Johnson, our corporate roundtable at Ice Miller, in which she serves as a partner. We had quite a few, I think it was 26 persons there. They were very engaging, very committed. And so we're going to follow up to make sure we get what we want from each one of them. We also have to thank for that corporate roundtable, Link Joyce Rogers and Link Rose Mays. So we are ready to sing for June the 24th through July 1st, 2018. We are honored that you all are coming. Anything that you need, anything that you think we need to know, we welcome each and every one of those comments. I am having the this presentation, this first round table town hall meeting video, because we will be sending that to each of the chapters. There's a lot going on today, but we want them to understand the essence of what their role and responsibilities are. So it is being videoed. So thank you all for coming. I know that you've had a busy day. And now I'd like to turn it back over to Lane Sonia Johnson, Williams Chair of Assembly Conference Event Planning.
Thank you. Thank you. Again, Link Jarnell, Link Jenny, you've been tremendous. And you really, really have us excited and thrilled to be here. As we always say, it's about the journey, and we just appreciate what we know you're going to provide us, you and your cluster, the iconic cluster, as what you're going to provide us along this road as we make it happen together. Sister Links, I think Link Jarnell said it, our 16th National President, the more time you spend with her, and by the way, I've known her for maybe over 30 years, you continue to be amazed because she is absolutely fabulous. She's committed to us. She's tireless. She's compassionate. And she is selfless in giving to us. And so I'm going to ask you and join me in welcoming our 16th National President, Glenda Newell-Harris.
You know, I think what we'll do right now is just bless the food and allow you to go get your food. And then I'll offer my remarks after we've had a chance to get our food. Is that okay, Sonia?
That's great.
Okay. So let's just bow our head for a moment of prayer. Precious and most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, O Lord. We thank you for those that are here. We thank you for traveling mercies, for those that have come across the highways and the byways, Lord. We ask that you be with us as we go to do the work that we must do in the communities that we serve. We ask that you be with us and guide us as we plan for this meeting that will be coming up in Indianapolis. We ask that you bless all that are here and all of those that are on their way. We ask that this food that you have brought before us nourish and strengthen our bodies. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Yes, to me. Okay.
Good morning or good afternoon in California, I think it's still morning. Good morning, everyone, and please continue to eat. I just want to provide some very brief remarks. First of all, I just want to greet you all in the spirit of LinkedIn and to let you know that our organization has been very busy. I have just returned from a round of 4 area conferences, Eastern area, Southern area, Central area, and just left Western area last Saturday. And our Link Sisters are very, very busy, and we are on now getting prepared for this wonderful National Assembly that I know is going to happen here in Indianapolis. I am thrilled to be here this weekend. It has been an incredibly action-packed, filled time, and I just want to take this time to acknowledge, first of all, 2 individuals that have just been super special and super wonderful to us during our visit this time here in Indianapolis. I want to acknowledge 2 women that you know so well, and these 2 women, after their long busy days at work, were standing at the airport at 11:49 p.m. when I arrived in Indianapolis, and I want to reintroduce to you our chair of the National Assembly, Link Newell-Craig, who I love and adore, our chair, and our co-chair, Link Virginia Kane, who I also love and adore. And these 2 women, I have the wonderful opportunity of being able to say that I have known them. This is not a brand new relationship for me here in Indianapolis with Jenny and with Jarnell. I have known them, I have worked with them in LinkedIn, and in particular with Jenny, I have worked with her in the National Medical Association for many, many years. And so I feel very much at home here. We have come to Indianapolis to begin the work on the ground that's necessary for this assembly. And I have to tell you, after spending a day and a half with Jenny and Jarnell, I am so juiced about this assembly. I cannot tell you how excited I am. It's almost like you can't really ask either one of them for anything that they don't tell you that they can make it happen. Or they have a contact of somebody that they know. We were crossing the street this morning, just to give you a small snapshot. And someone was saying, well, that parking lot over there is for government employees during the week. But during the evenings and on the weekends, it's available, possibly. And Jarnell said, well, you know, you could just call the governor, and the governor will be able to give you whatever special arrangements you need for that. And then let me also just tell you that we have a need to continue our international work, just so you can know what Indianapolis is doing nationwide with LinkedIn. So we have an opportunity to help our young mothers in Jamaica. They asked us for bassinets, because you know we've been going to Jamaica to do international work. And we learned about these bed in boxes. I don't know if you know about it, but there's something called a bed in a box. And so the hospital asked us for bassinets. and we learned about the bed in boxes, and we just made a comment like, oh, we're looking to see if we can do this. And then out of the blue, your link sister, Jarnell, stood up and told me, oh, you need bed in boxes? I can make that happen for you. And so, I mean, it's like a genie. It's like she's like a genie. And so you have to understand and know that the work that we do leading up to this assembly, it is tedious and very detailed. And to be able to work with a team of ladies here in Indianapolis that are so willing and dedicated and committed, it really just makes us feel like we know that this is going to be a very smooth journey. Let me also take this opportunity to introduce to you some of our National Assembly team that are here with us. We have brought some of the team with us, and we will be bringing others as we continue to meet. But you have already met our National Chair of Conference Planning and Assembly, and that's Link Sonia Johnson-Williams to my left, who has been a friend for 30 years for sure. Our children grew up together. We also have our co-chair of the National Assembly that is here with us, hailing from the Dogwood City chapter, and that's Marcia Elam. Marcia, could you stand up so they can see who you are? We have with us also, and Marcia is a new member of our conference planning team. We have with us also, hailing from the Silver Springs chapter of Maryland, Link Joy Sheffield, who is going to be in charge of our, please, yes, give Joy a... She is responsible for our vendor marketplace area. And Joy has been with us in the first journey, and she was responsible for registration. And she did an outstanding job. She has energy, she has great ideas, she keeps us positive all the time, and it's great having you on the team, Joy. We have also with us, who is a returning member of our team, Link Didra Jr., who hails from the Las Vegas chapter. And Link Didra is going to be our chair of registration. Link Didra, in her day work, is the vice president of global diversity for all of the MGM properties. I've probably given her a promotion, but she is the person. If you want to know anything about not just Mandalay Bay, but MGM property, from the Gaylord in DC to the properties that are all in Las Vegas. And we were at her wonderful hotel last time, and she was invaluable in terms of helping us be able to spin straw into gold and make things happen. And she's positive and is a wonderful member of our team. And thank you for agreeing to serve with us again, Link Didra. We have also with us our chair of VIP escorts. And Ida hails from the Dogwood City chapter as well. Link Ida Rose, Young Rose, right? Right, Young Rose. And Ida is in charge of what we call our VIP escorts. She served with us last time, did an outstanding job. We have learned over time that it's important for us to take care of our VIPs. And I'm not talking about links. I'm talking about people that are not links, that come, our special panelists, our guest speakers and things of that nature. She is the one that's responsible for making sure they get met at the airport, get checked in, that they know where they're going and that type of thing. And we've gotten feedback that people say, oh, we like coming to Links conventions because, when you come to a convention, you don't really know where you're going, where you're supposed to be, and when, and that type of thing. And she's done an outstanding job. And so I guess you'd have to say Dogwood City has a lot going on because we got 2 reps from Dogwood City. We also have with us, hailing from the Greater New York chapter, Link Joey Cole, who is, when I first met Joey, I met Joey in New York, and Joey is, I'm going to call her a TV producer. I'm not sure what she's doing right now, but when I met her, she was doing television production. And so she is currently chairing logistics, and she is the one that is back behind the scenes, making sure everything comes off like a clock. She's coordinating the script with the staging, and that little sister takes care of business. I just want to tell you. Thank you, Joey, for being a part of this team again. And did I forget anybody? Oh, Allison. I want to also let you know that we have another new member of our team, Link Allison Wynn from the Youngstown, Ohio chapter. Please greet Allison. And Allison has told us that she's in transition and will be moving to a chapter in Chicago. Allison comes to us with her own knowledge and expertise about event planning. And so we've brought her on this team because we are always interested in new ideas. And we want to know how we can do things better, quicker, faster, and more efficient. And so we've asked Allison to come and be a part of this team to be able to help know what are some ideas and things that we may be able to do differently and things that we may be able to enhance our National Assembly, because we do want it to be an experience. And we don't want people to come and say, oh yeah, we did that last time. So we want to really have some new and innovative things going on. You have met our other team members that are here. I don't think you've met our staff. Let me introduce you to the staff that is here with us, because we can't do anything that we do without our dynamic staff. And I'm thrilled that they are here with us, and they have also been on the ground working and meeting every need. Let me introduce to you first our, Madeline, I got the titles all wrong, but I'm going to introduce our number one person that is responsible, and she wears many hats because she has been with the Links Incorporated for some time, and she knows a lot about the Links. And one of the things that's so wonderful, in addition to her primary skills, is that she's willing to transfer her skills. She will work where we have special needs, but her primary responsibility to us right now is in the area of technology. I want to introduce to you Paula Wall. Paula, stand up for me. I would like to introduce to you our Director of Communications, and I think she may have stepped out, but Diane Dougal-Bass, here she is, Dion Dougal-Bass, who is our Director of Communications. She's responsible for everything that has to do with what's written and what's not written. She helps with writing, she helps with newsletters, she helps with communications, letters that need to go out, everything. And Dion is relatively new with us, and she has come in and hit the ground running, and we love her, and she's wonderful and dynamic. I'd like to bring on Unisha Davis, who is our Director of Programs, and she also is another dynamic, fabulous person. She came to us, unlike some others, with the grant writing skills capabilities. And so, you know, in LinkedIn, we always need to be able to do that. But she has many other talents, and she has been wonderful and dynamic. I get nothing but positive feedback from our membership about all the wonderful things that you're doing and how you're interfacing. We also have with us our newest member of the team, Jasmine Wibisono. And Jasmine is our Director of Events. Jasmine, would you please stand so everybody can see who you are? Jasmine has probably been with us less than 2 weeks and has truly hit the ground running. She has come to us with timelines. She's got the whole binder of all the information. She comes to us with outstanding experience, and we are thrilled to have her as part of this team as well. And of course, I think you have met our dynamic and fabulous Executive Director, but I do want her to stand one more time for those of you that haven't had a chance to meet her, like Madeline Lawson. So I think that I've introduced everyone. I just want you to know that we're very excited about this. We know that this is going to be a fabulous assembly. We have a committee structure that has been well outlined by Link Sonia, and we will be following that plan. We know that there was an event today, and so we do apologize for being here at a time when there was an event going on in the city with Links. I want to be very public and transparent about that. To be very honest with you, we had significant challenges getting into this hotel to have this meeting. Madeline called over and over and over and offered date after date after date for a few months. And every date that she gave the Marriott, they told us they had a convention. And so we ultimately then had to go to our Marriott corporate person to say, hey, we got a contract with that hotel, and we got an assembly that we've got to plan. So somebody's got to find some rooms for us somewhere. And when that happened, this was the soonest date that they could give us. And because we really wanted to be here sooner than now, we had to jump on the only date that we could get. And so we are looking to set up some dates moving forward. Some of you have spoken to me about your relationships with Hotel Connections, and if we find that problem next time, to reach out, because there's some of you here on the ground in Indianapolis that may know some of these individuals here. I mean, when we come, we're not asking for 50 rooms. We're only asking for about 8 or 10 rooms at a place like this to meet. So we don't know why we got that kind of pushback, but I'm aggressive, and so is Madeline. And so we will try to make sure that you have proper notice, and we hope to not bump heads with a local link event in the future. But for those of you that have to tip out to go, we totally understand. Please give my love to the members of the chapter and let them know that I am sorry we could not be there, but we wish them much success in their event. We don't have a theme yet, but we are working on one. But what I do want you to know is that what I will be talking about within the organization for the next 12 months is preparing the organization for the future. I want to be certain that when, and as much as I can be, that you always try to leave an organization a little bit better than you found it. And so I want to be able to make sure that we are poised to be prepared for the future. And what does that mean? That means prepared from a technology standpoint, prepared from engaging younger members, really working with them, giving them an opportunity to be able to lead, to be in front of this microphone, that we're standing in the background coaching them and allowing them to be able to do some of the things that those of us that are more senior have had opportunities to do. We want to do that. We also want to prepare the organization financially. So let me not miss out on this opportunity to let you know that we have a Vision 2020 campaign that is going on right now, and we are looking for our members to be able to support that. We have something called the 1946 Society that was started about 2 years ago, and that is a society of members that agree to donate a minimum of $25,000 to our endowment. And last biennium, we had 25 Link Sisters that agreed to pay that $25,000. And I'm looking to try to find 25 more. So I know that there are 4 or 5 Link Sisters in this room that would be willing to make that financial commitment to the Links Incorporated. We want to acknowledge you in a very special way when it's assembly time, as we did last time. And just so you know, I'm not asking you to go where I have not been. I have written my check for $25,000. I have given another 5, and I'm working on another 20, so that I can hopefully maybe make it to be, just walk the talk, that's all. It's just all about walking the talk. I can't ask you to go where I'm not going. So at this point, that $25,000, in order to be acknowledged and recognized as part of the assembly, we would say that that would have to be in by February 1st, like now. Oh, okay. So if it's in by April 30, we would be able to include you in the communications to position you to be acknowledged at the National Assembly. So, without further ado, I'm going to take my seat, but to let you know that I want to thank each and every one of you for coming. I appreciate your kind expressions of love to me. It matters. This job is phenomenal. It's an honor and a privilege to serve you. And when I get a chance to come out and spend time with you like I am today, that's what really keeps me motivated to be able to continue to do the work for this wonderful organization. So thank you for being here. I'll be here for most of the rest of the day, and I hope to be accessible to all of you, and thank you for donating your time to help us work on this wonderful work that we're going to be doing here next year.
Now we'll have remarks from our executive director.
Good morning, Link Sisters. Good morning. This is somewhat of a new journey for me. I say somewhat because I was here for the last assembly, but as an interim. But as we began this journey, I have to first pause to thank the chair and the co-chair for being of such utmost support to us on our first visit here. And I'd like to ask National President if she would come forward. And I'd like to ask Link Sister Janelle and Link Sister Virginia if you would come forward. And if the staff would please stand. And I would like to say, and I know our National President would like to say some words as well, but you know, if what we have seen from Thursday evening onward is any indication of what is to come, we're gonna have a super National Assembly here in 2018. I want you to know the Lake Jarnell and Lake Virginia have been absolutely superb. Sometimes people look to the leadership of the organization, but they forget about the staff. And I want you to know that we feel that you all look at all of us as being a part of what we do. And so I want to say on behalf of our national headquarters staff and the national president, that we love Lake Jarnell, my newfound friend. And Lake Virginia, I have to say, is my renewed friend because I've known her for many years. We thank you for all you've done, and for all of you for what you've done, and what we know you will do going forward.
Absolutely. And so on behalf of the National Assembly Conference Planning Team and our staff, we want to present these living plants to you as an indication of just a small token of our love and appreciation for all that you have done and all that we know that you will do in the future. Thank you so much. We love you.
And so you've met our staff. I just would like if they would stand again. Jasmine has been on board for a week, and a couple of days. And as Glenda stated, she's our Director of Events and Conference Management and will be our point person for the National Assembly on the staff side. And so she'll be working with all of you. Dion, the Communications Director, certainly will be interfacing everything that we do for the Assembly. Unisha, our Director of Programs, will be working with our facets and committee chairs as they plan their programs and workshops for the Assembly. And of course, Paula, everything is technology. And so Paula is that point person on technology. But we want you to know, these are different faces other than Paula. Everybody else, this is their first time with the Assembly. But I want you to know that these are seasoned professional people that have worked in these capacities for many years. And so they will do what is necessary to make certain that we have a great Assembly. And they will be working very closely with every one of you. And so today, as you began to plan around the table, they will circulate to see how they can be of some support and assistance to you. So we pledge to you that we will do our very best to make Indy the best in 2018. Thank you all so much.
Okay, from a flow perspective, what we want to do next, we as a committee, as the Assembly Conference and Event Planning Committee, we have 9 subcommittees, airport greeters, connecting links, aerolinks, hostesses, logistics and planning, invited guests, platinum and alumni, registration, and community service. The community service project is led by our director, our national program directors. And so she is not here today. And I want everyone to understand the structure. Today we have 5 committees represented: connecting links, aerolinks, logistics and planning, invited guest, and registration. Those are the committees upon which there is a tremendous amount of work. We'd say more so than the others. Or when you look at it from a timing perspective, these are the committees that need to get engaged immediately. And so our ask today will be that the members who are here sign up for these committees. Your choice. We typically look to have at least one member from each chapter in the cluster sign up for each of the committees that I've outlined. There are about 25, 30 people here. If we get our math right, that would be maybe 1 to 2. But pressing would be connecting links, aerolinks, logistics and planning, registration, right? And so we want to get our sign-ups started. Our ask is also that when you return to your chapters, you help us, help the other members understand what work needs to be done. When you sit down today with the committee chairs, our ask will be that you review responsibilities. Each chair is versed enough, and we've done this before, they will let you know what the responsibilities are and where we really need to focus. So today, the objectives will be to join a committee, cover the responsibilities, and then take time to share ideas, what you may or may not know about best practices, what you've seen work in your community, where you believe our members, the 3,000 members who are going to descend upon Indianapolis about a year from now, where you think places that you think they should go, experiences that you believe would be of value and memorable to them. We then will talk about, so I'm asking that you draft a plan, high-level outline. You will then continue to work, and the committees will grow with the chairs on finalizing and formalizing those plans over the course of the next 45 days. Our ask is that you start to work on, when you walk away from today, summary descriptions, more details, and then develop the budget. So for today, we want you to, our ask is that you please sign up for the committees, review the responsibilities, talk about it, talk about high-level details, then establish your meeting cadence. And start to think about budget, because we do have to think about that at the end of the day, and how we carry this forward, right, so that we're consistent, so that we're not needing to rework. You know, a takeaway from us, from Las Vegas was, we want to make sure that when we have our chapter members start with the committee, we want to follow it through. That's why we're going to be very deliberate and diligent in our signups today. It wasn't that people weren't following up. Sometimes people would just forget what committee they signed up for, and then they say, oh, well, I think I want to go work with this one. But we have to ask for continuity and consistency. And so a couple of our chairs this morning decided that we would maybe even try to find a way through Sign Up Genius, is that what we're using? Or Google, what are we using? Google Docs. We have a way, we have paper at the table for signups, but we also have some iPads and iPhones that you can use as well. So this will enhance and enable our communication even more, right? So what we're going to do is ask you to meet for 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, what do you think? 30. Between 30 and 45 minutes, we'll see how it goes, to take care of these particular actions. And then we will come back together as a group and at a high level talk about what we were able to accomplish and what we see as our next steps. If anyone has any questions or other thoughts, this is open and intended to be interactive, but this is where we wanted to take the town hall focus for today, and this is what we wanted to accomplish. When we have our next town hall meetings, you will probably see additional committee signups take place, airport greeters, platinum and alum, hostesses, that will come together over time. What we have today, the committees that we have represented, again, are those committees where we need the most, where we need to move quickly, but efficiently, and we just want to be deliberate and get that piece done. Okay? Any questions, anything to add, anyone? Good. Okay, at this point, let's, yes.
When you say high level, can you give us some specifics that you want us to come back with today?
Sure. And for every committee, it may be different. Registration, we'll probably talk about, for example, let me answer it this way. The registration committee will probably come back with a high-level timetable. They will come back with maybe an assessment of how many volunteers they believe they're going to do. That's the tactical aspect. They will probably also talk about what they want that registration experience to look like for our members. They may talk about, we want to go and ask, can we have wine in the hotel while people stand in line? That's just an example. They will also talk about training, registration equipment, setup. The chair will probably share some of her historical perspective from prior assemblies around what worked really well and maybe what we need to improve. Does that answer? Good. Any other questions? Okay, with that being said, the time is 12:20. Let's have a check-in at 12:50, and as everyone has said, thank you in advance for the work that you're going to do. I see a question in the back.
Are you gonna have your chairpersons to go to different parts of the?
They will, yes.
That's what we're gonna say.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
are they? So we know
Okay,
which
so
table to go
chairs,
to.
you want to disperse now?
Yeah, for logistics and planning, let's meet at that empty table right behind you, and we can start there.
Okay, and then let's ask the chairs to take spots, thank you.
On registration, so we can gather up here.
Who's the next one? Who's the next committee?
Invited guest, Ida will be, she's walking over there now, there's invited guest, okay. And then connecting links and arrow links, those who are interested in supporting those committees, I'm going to ask you to please sit this front table. The front, we'll combine those front tables. Any other questions? Okay, sister links. Let's reconvene. I know there's been great work going on. Let's hear about the ideas. I'm going to start by asking Link Ida. Want to give a quick readout? And then we'll have Link Deidre. And then Link Marcia. Yeah, have her give a readout, yes. So let's hear about the what the committee's talked about, what the lead-in ideas are, and then we can, when we leave here today, talk about ways to pay it forward. Thank you.
Hello again, Link Sisters. Hello. I am the chair of invited guests. I am Link Ida Rosemize. And we had a very productive meeting. 10 Link Sisters have signed up for the invited guest committee thus far. And we talked about the importance of our very special guests being treated warmly and welcomed, and the responsibilities that are ahead for us in the invited guest committee. We established Thursday night call that we will start out monthly with our Thursday night calls, and then as we get closer to the assembly, we will probably start speaking on a more regular basis. But everyone understands that this is a committee of service, and that we are in the business of helping others in this committee, and that we all understand we need to be patient, and that this committee is ever-changing. So we are excited, and we are going to be prepared and ready.
Was it what Thursday? Second Thursday, the fourth Thursday? Okay.
We're going to have a follow-up email, and later on now, I would be happy to include you on that. And we will further discuss which Thursdays. And we've also discussed which type of other chapter members to try to enlist for our committee. Okay? Any other questions? Thank you.
Link Deidre?
I met with the registration volunteers and let me just tell you. Very vibrant bunch, very exciting. I'm having exciting still smiling. And so the main thing that we needed to establish, because the work registration happens at the conference, so the volunteers, and so our team knows that we need bodies, lots of bodies. My dear friend Joy never left the registration desk. I'm leaving that desk. To enjoy the conference as well. So we established that we need lots of bodies, and we we have the registration hours, and the other piece was if we get items for registration, we have a time frame or selected dates of when we'll stuff bags, or at least assemble, take the bags out of the boxes and get everything ready. But the gist of our meeting is mostly about establishing how many members we're going to get. And so we will communicate via email. There's not a whole lot of reason to be on the phone every 3 months because there's not really anything to talk about. So volunteers is what we need on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so that's where we are. Thanks.
Your registration hours have already been established?
Our registration hours we're looking at from past agenda.
Okay.
And so if that changes, but right now, the registration hours are what we did last year.
Okay, modify it.
Okay. Okay.
Hi, ladies. I am super excited. Can I just have my ride or die ladies just stand up? Because that's right now. That's what we've talked about. We are going to do our ride or die tour. As I was telling these lovely ladies, when we did this in Vegas, for a couple of the town hall committee meetings, I was sitting by myself and I was like, oh wow, there's no one wanting to do logistics. But I have a hardcore crew right now, and I am really, really super excited. So what we talked about is that we outline what logistics does and what it does not do. And so we have come up with a very clear template and outline of how we can best execute our Madam President and Sonia's vision for 2018. Our meetings are going to be the third Monday of every month from 8:15 Eastern Standard Time to 9. And it's going to start in July. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start going over run shows. We're going to start going over luncheon, plenary sessions, sort of basically outlining what we do and how we can best execute it. We're also going to talk about best practices. Once going through the run of shows, we can figure out how we can be more succinct, more efficient in what we are planning to do. And that's pretty much it. We know that we're going to be boots on the ground. We've even decided that we may have to put microchips in each other so we can GPS track each other. Black girl, we need you. So anyway, again, you can see my enthusiasm is like through the roof, and this assembly is gonna rock it. We're gonna kick it with logistics, and we're so happy to be here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my Link sisters. Let's all give ourselves a round of applause for being here, for rolling up our sleeves and ready to get our work started. Absolutely. Well, I'm very happy to say we met, 4 of us, but we're powerful 4.
Yes, we are.
And we have a chair named Jessica. So Jessica, since you're the chair, I'm going to stand here with you. Go ahead.
Great, thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Jessica Brand with the Circle City chapter. And I thought Airlines would be perfect. Our president here had suggested that I do this program, and I'm really happy to. I have an 18, a 16, and an 11-year-old. So I have uncovered and dug up everything there is to do in this town with my kids over 18 years. So I think I can really I understand that there wasn't a program at National Assembly in Las Vegas, and I purposely did not bring my 3 children to Vegas because that was my time.
Yes, we've heard that.
Yeah, but the way that we are marketing Indianapolis is that this is the family place to be and the family destination for Assembly. So we are going to put together a program and send out a survey first to find out who would be interested in bringing their children and families, but for connecting links as well. There are so many things to do here, and the fortunate thing, it's all within about 5 blocks. Yeah. So we can walk to everything. You can see the Indians Field out here. There are family nights there. The zoo is across the street. There are gondola rides across from the Idle George Museum. The State Museum is here. We could have just a children's assembly if we wanted. So the objective here is to make this the most family-oriented assembly we've had and to really make it welcome.
I As you know, part of Madam President's vision is to make this conference for the families. So we're going to really work on doing something for the family as well. We also know it's important to do a survey. So we're going to work on a survey, and some of other areas may join with us in doing that as well. So a survey is very important. Okay, and we want to keep the cost down.
That's right. Your answer.
I thought that was important for Madam President. Okay, thank you.
Did we get everyone? Good, Joy? You didn't convene, but you are responsible for Marketplace, but we know there's much more to follow. Thank you for your help in supporting us today. Thank you. All right, Sister Links, you know, our time here today was brief, but wow, what we've started, the dialogue, the ideas, the energy, as Madam President just said to me, there's a lot of talent in this room, and we absolutely want to tap upon it, tap into it, and build and run and execute on what we believe, what we know in our heart of hearts will be the best assembly that this organization has seen as we help our president finish her term, right? That's the goal here, the best assembly. And we're going to make that happen. That is today's agenda. Again, we appreciate your time, your ideas, your energy, your hearts. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Your chairs will be in touch with you. Thank you, Link Joy, for helping facilitate contact information. That's why we intentionally asked for next steps, next meeting, because we don't want to lose this momentum. We've got 12 months left. Just to give you an idea of high-level timeline, call to assembly is released January. We can't finish it December 31 and release it. We've got to plan for it. We've got to edit it. So the work that you're doing right now will continue over the summer. By early fall, when we talked about going from the high level to all of the detail, that's the timeline. We've got to get it nailed down so that we get this information. I want you to understand the push, so that we get this information prepared for our call to assembly, so that we can get it out to our sisters, so that we get them here, you know, planning, preparation, so that they have time to do that. So we also want to get some information out to them in advance, you know, the survey, so they know it's coming, they'll be engaged. But just think about the timelines. January call to assembly. That's what we're working towards right now. That is our first major milestone, and there are other critical success factors that we need to meet prior to that. Your chair will keep you apprised of our progress. And I just want to know, are there any questions, any ideas, thoughts? Yes? Okay, Madam President.
Does anybody have a birthday today? Anybody have a birthday this week? Anybody have a birthday last week? Anybody have a birthday in June that lives in the Indy area? Anybody have a June birthday? So just to give you an example of stress reliever, when we were planning the assembly last time, we were challenged by all of the needs. And you know, Link Sisters don't do fake flowers, right? We don't do that. And so we were charged with, well, Glenda, what you gonna do about the flowers? And we had a floral budget, and it wasn't working with what we learned. So one of the first things I asked Jarnell was, I said, Jarnell, we need some flowers, what are we gonna do? So Jarnell and Jenny met me at the airport with this beautiful arrangement that I want to give to you, my Link sister. And so our floral needs have been taken care of already. We will not be sliding into home plate the last 2 weeks of the assembly worrying about where our flowers are coming from, what they will look like, or how much they will cost, because Jarnell has already taken care of that. And I want to give you an example of how beautiful this is. So happy birthday to you, my Link sister.
my beautiful bouquet. Thank you. And welcome to Indianapolis. Wow, this is historical. Judy, you got a drop.
All right, as we wrap, we don't have a date confirmed for our next town hall. However, we expect it to happen in the fall, early fall. As soon as we have a date, because our team will coordinate with the hotel and visitors' schedules. As soon as we have a date, we will get that out to you. As soon as we know, we will let you know. But expect, like Madeline?
I would just like to ask for the chapter, for the leadership. I know one chapter meets on the third Sunday of the month. It'd be helpful to know what the other meeting dates are, so that we'll keep that in mind as we look at a date on a Saturday to meet with you. The other chapter representatives, what date do you meet?
South Bend meets the first Saturday.
Okay, is that Saturday morning?
First Saturday morning, 10 to 12.
So Circle City and Indianapolis meet on the third Sunday.
Sunday.
Third Sunday?
What way
On
is it?
Sunday?
Third Sunday.
On Sunday, so there's only one chapter that meets on Saturday morning.
Northern Indiana meets the last Saturday of the month.
Morning?
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's helpful, thank you.
Okay, so, we're looking at, Madam President just suggested perhaps September, but many, many more details to follow.
Yes.
And understand, that's so preliminary, we've just got to get our hotel and arrangements confirmed. We're working to do that ASAP, and we will get that information out to you. Yes, so we will have the town hall in the fall, and then in the spring, early spring, late winter into March, early spring, a town hall. And then as we approach that magical time in June, expect that we will convene everyone approximately 4 to 6 weeks out. So I've highlighted 3 potential town hall dates. Fall, this fall coming up, understanding that we've got to get to our call to assembly, got that critical milestone. Spring, and then about 4 to 6 weeks out from the actual assembly.
And it may be that the spring one, we don't need.
Yeah.
We'll just be flexible. It
Yeah.
depends upon the needs. So we're not gonna just come and engage you because we have to. We've done this once before, and we see the enthusiasm and so forth. And if we feel that we're on track, we may skip March and just slide in 4 weeks before. Or she may choose to come in with a team that doesn't require a town hall.
Yeah.
But she has the decision to make, she and like Madeline and Jasmine will be making those decisions.
But we will keep you apprised. What I want to do is work on ways to get communication out to you frequently, so that everybody has the same information set, as well as a master calendar. That's another goal from an administrative perspective, so that we all are on the same page. Any other questions or comments? Okay. The question has been raised about assessment, and so I'm going to ask our national president to speak to the policy, please.
Yeah, I apologize that I did not address this earlier, but we want to be very, very clear with all of the members of all of the cluster chapters. There will be no assessment. We do not assess any of our chapter members in the cluster for anything that has to do with the National Assembly. What we may ask you to do is, if you have resources to be able to get us things that can be used in the bags for stuffing, we would welcome that. Keychains, pedometers, or Band-Aid kits, or whatever you think, or whatever you might have in terms of resources, we would welcome that. And we're expecting about between 25 and 2,800, and so, if you wanted to know how many to ask for, I'm just gonna say get what you can, because we know sometimes you can't get 2,800, so if you can get 1,000 of something, or you can get 500 of something, we'll use what you have and put that in our bags. But as far as assessment goes, there is no financial obligation to anyone as it relates to this assembly. We will be asking you to come to town hall meetings, and we will be asking you to help us work on site. and as it relates to hostesses and airport greeters. And I may as well go ahead and address this other matter too. And that is that all members of the cluster that are planning to be here and participate will be required to register for the conference. And so we want to be sure that there's no confusion around that. There are different things that happen in areas, and in areas you are assessed. And in areas, I think with the assessment, sometimes they will give the cluster chapter a reduced registration. But we do not assess any of our cluster members, but we do require that if you plan to be on site, you will be required to register. If you're working to be a part of the convention, you will be required to register for the convention. We don't have the price yet of the registration. I'm sure that's the next question. And it's really going to depend upon what we're able to work out. If we can have some more straw being spun into gold, like Janelle has already done, to be able to help us in one critical area, that makes a difference. We need to raise a minimum of $900,000 in order for your registration to be in the early 700s. Contrary to what you may think, the food costs in Las Vegas is competitive with the food costs right here in Indianapolis. We've heard about it. We asked yesterday what lunch costs, and it was right there with the same cost in Las Vegas. So where you may think, oh, Las Vegas is more expensive, we should be able to tone this down. But do know that I'm wanting to move that 7 to a 6. That's my goal, is to move that 7 to a 6. So if you have resources for sponsorship opportunities that will be able to help us exceed that $900,000 goal, everything that you're able to give to us in terms of sponsorships, we factor it into the budget, and that's what allows us to be able to make those adjustments in registration. So it's my dream to remove that 7 and put a 6 there, with some other numbers behind it. But it will be up to our corporate linkage chair and her team that helps us to raise this money. We raised about $799 or $800,000, like Madeline, last year.
866.
866 was raised last time. And Vivian Picard, if you ever see her, she's Central area, you need to hug and kiss her, because she is the one that has led this charge year after year after year. And those of you that are in corporate America, you know it's getting harder and harder to get dollars. And we have to be more creative about how the money is being spent. And our corporate partners don't want to give to rubber chicken. They want to give to a program. They want to give to STEM. They want to give to a town hall meeting, which is what they told us. And so we're trying to make sure we have all of those things that our corporate partners will want to sponsor for us. But it will just depend upon how those monies come in. So if we get more than what we expect, then we're going to return that investment right back to you in the membership. So do understand when that figure comes out, we will have probably stayed up weeks overnight before we turn that number over to you, because we know it becomes sticker shock. But my goal is to get that 7 to a 6.
Perfect. All right.
Sister Links, this concludes our town hall. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope everyone has safe travels home, and until next time, thank you very much.
I love that.